I'm Alicia, your literary liaison, and I'm here to brighten your day with my first review of a novel titled A Day Late and $1 Short by the awesome Terry McMillan. Now, most of us know Miss McMillan for her brilliant storytelling skills. She's the author who created the girlfriend guidebook that we all know and loved, titled Waiting to Exhale. She also showed us the beauty of falling in love in the middle stages of life and how Stella got her groove back. And then she also showed us how two lovers from different sides of the track can meet on common ground in Disappearing Acts. Because I enjoyed these stories so much, I knew that A Day Late and $1 Short would be equally entertaining. And let me tell you, it definitely did not disappoint. If you want to read a tearjerker that explores so many issues that families face today, A Day Late and $1 Short is certainly the place to start. It took me a whole month to read all 431 pages of this hard copy, but I cannot think of a better way to spend my time. The novel starts out with a middle-aged mother named Viola who had a severe asthma attack, and as a result, she ended up in the hospital. Now, Viola is an empty nester who is separated from her husband. She presently lives in Las Vegas, and when she and her husband Cecil married, they lived in Chicago. Then, when the kids became teenagers, they moved to California, and when they grew up, Cecil and Viola moved to Las Vegas. She begins by describing her family, which includes her husband, Cecil, of course, and their 4 kids, Paris, Charlotte, Louis, and Janelle. Paris, her oldest child, is a very successful caterer who has one teenage son. Paris's business is very lucrative, and her mom states that she's not the type of caterer who just drops off their signature dish at the house parties in the neighborhood. Instead, she's the type who is featured on the national news channels. You know, the ones that pretend to cook those gourmet meals in 2 minutes on the stage while millions of people watch from home. Well, when the book begins, she's talking with her manager about creating a cookbook. And this cookbook is going to have quick gourmet meals. Paris pours out her heart and soul into everything that she does. And the work gets very hard, and she rarely finds the time to play. Her most prized possession is her son, Dingus, who is an honor roll student and star athlete in high school. Paris likes to pretend that she's got it all together, but in reality, she needs a lot of help, and she finds it in some very dark places. Next is Charlotte. Charlotte is the second oldest child, and she is extremely jealous of Paris. In her mind, Paris has always been her mother's favorite. She has lived most of her adult life resenting her mother and her sister for this reason. Charlotte is 11 months younger than Paris, and she had 2 siblings right after her, which didn't give her much time to get any of her mother's attention. Charlotte lives in Chicago with her husband Al and their 3 children, Tiffany, Monique, and Trevor. Charlotte and Al are a typical middle-class family who work basic jobs to survive from paycheck to paycheck. She is a supervisor in a local post office, and Al is an over-the-road truck driver. And they also own a struggling laundromat together. Charlotte spends most of her time arguing with her family, especially her mother. When the book begins, she and her mother are not on speaking terms, and neither of them really know how to relate with each other because both are very stubborn and neither ever admit their faults. Charlotte is facing some challenges within her household regarding her husband and one of her children. She also struggles with accepting her life choices and learning how to build from where she is in life instead of focusing on her mistakes and the things that she did in the past when she was younger. Next is Louis. Louis is the 3rd child. He is what most people would consider the black sheep in the family. Louis went back and forth to jail. This was because he was stealing when he was younger. This practice more than likely stemmed from the fact that he was using hard drugs at the time. And at the beginning of the novel, he has not been in jail for a while, but he leads a very irresponsible life. Although he decided to give up the drugs, he still smokes marijuana, spends time doing crossword puzzles all day with no job, not even looking for one. When Viola is describing her children in chapter 1, she talks about Louis. He would call her and ask her for money, but never pay her back. She states he lives in a dingy little apartment and spends his days playing checkers with the Mexicans. That's her words. When he's not doing any of those things, he's just wasting time obsessing over his ex-wife, who happens to be his child's mother. Her name is Danetta. But let's go on. Finally, we have Viola and Cecil's youngest child, Janelle. She is considered the airhead of the bunch, and she seeks advice from palm readers and tarot card readers. Janelle is a daddy's girl who Viola describes as a career student who never grew up. Janelle loves to decorate her house and her yard for every holiday, even the ones most people don't pay attention to, like Groundhog Day and St. Patrick's Day. When the book begins, Janelle is living with her third husband, you heard me right, her third husband, named George, and her 12-year-old daughter, Shanice. Now, Janelle was married to her first husband for only 22 days. Her second husband, Jimmy, was Shanice's father. He had been killed in a violent shooting when Shanice was a baby. Janelle was never quite the same after Jimmy died. She started dating married men so she wouldn't feel too connected to them and get attached, until she finally met George. George is a much older police officer who owns a big house and lots of money. He left his wife for Janelle. Although he and Janelle seem to be somewhat happy, his relationship with her 12-year-old daughter Shanice is very, very strained. He buys her everything that she wants, but it's just never enough. You know, Shanice starts to act out in ways that her family doesn't understand, like being defiant to her mother, and she actually starts pulling out her hair. Viola shares this interesting clan of, her family with the man that she has spent the last 30 plus years with, Mr. Cecil. Cecil is in his late 50s, and Viola assumes that he's experienced a midlife crisis because he left her and now lives with a much younger woman and her 3 small kids. And she has one on the way that everyone's questioning whether or not it's Cecil's. We're left with the answer of maybe, maybe not, which really isn't an answer at all, right? A Day Late and a Dollar Short is an awesome story with characters that grab you from the very beginning. Viola, the matriarch, establishes her role as the mother hen who is always looking out for her flock, whether they want her to or not. The themes explore the challenges of approaching middle age, exposing sexual abuse and drug use in places where you least suspect it. It also encourages us to take risks and to step outside of what we've created our boxes to be. The most important lesson, however, is about the importance of family love. We are only allowed a limited amount of time, y'all, and we're allowed this limited amount of time to share with our loved ones. So in all of this, I just want to say, let's do our best to make those moments count. All right? Well, y'all, that's A Day Late and a Dollar Short by Terry McMillan. If you like this review, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, be blessed.